Hello, Todd Long, Carolina Realty World, CarolinaRealtyWorld.com. I'm actually in Greensboro, North Carolina today, Thursday, January 18th. I think that's the day. I'm on the North Carolina Board of Realtors, and we have our caucus meeting later this evening, and then our board meeting tomorrow morning. So traveling up here, but I'm sitting outside of a Peruvian restaurant. I've never had Peruvian food, and they don't open for another 10 minutes, so I thought I'd do a video real quick. On the way up here today, I was listening to some of the podcast and video, or the YouTube cast. What do they call that? I'm gonna call them the talking heads of YouTube. That people that I listen to that I wasn't watching YouTube videos on the road. I was listening to these talking casts. I listened to a lot of different stuff. Debbie was actually giving me not a hard time the other day, but I was telling her about something that I've been thinking about and working on. She's like, there's always something that I'm thinking about or working on. Anyway, I was listening to some the talking heads about the real estate market, and I do think there is probably a shift coming in the real estate market. We're due for one. I've been saying for a couple of years I thought it would be 2019. And what is a shift? Well, a shift is when the market's going one direction and it starts going the other direction. And so far, since about 2012, we've seen the market going up in value, and this is what a lot of the talking heads are saying now, that are predicting that the real estate market is going down. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to make this video today, because it actually kind of makes me mad that they talk about the real estate market going down, but they don't actually explain, or maybe don't understand, what they're actually predicting. Because is the real estate market price going down? Is the real estate market number of closings and pending sales going down? Is the number of properties available in inventory going down? Because all those things are actually different things that are either going down or up. And I had actually printed off some new statistics, since we just ended the year, that I was going to take a look at while I'm traveling. And it's interesting because the prices are actually still going up. And I'll actually show you this graph, since I'm stopped here and can actually do this now. This is the average sales price in the Charlotte area. Okay, so what this is actually telling us is the price peaked out at the beginning of 2008, which I actually remember that happening. It peaked out at about 225, let's call it, and then it dropped to as much as 190,000 was the average price in the Charlotte region for houses. So 225 was the peak, 190-ish, let's say, was the low, and that was 2012. And I remember 2012 specifically being the year that the Blackstones, the America's Home for Rent, those types of companies came back into the market. And this was real estate investment trust money coming back in and buying up all the first-time home buyer type product. And they were buying in cash. So they were beating everybody, all my buyers that had financing in place. They were beating them. And it turned the market on a dime. And you literally can see that. It was going down, and boop, it just started going up immediately. Now, we didn't know. This other one's kind of interesting. This little bump up right there. I don't know if you guys remember, but the government decided in their infinite wisdom they were going to try to inflate the housing market unnaturally by giving tax rebates to people that bought houses. And that happened. Beep, and then it went down again because the market wasn't ready to go up yet. But it did start going up, and if you look at that, we passed the peak from 2007 and 2016, and it's just basically gone straight up from there. Now, we've been on a average of 6 to 7% price appreciation in the Charlotte region ever since then, and we're about 270 now as far as the average sales price. So we peaked out last time at 225. We're at 270 now. Could we be coming to another peak and a turnover of prices going down? We could be, but we aren't yet. Now, there are places in the country that has started to happen. We started to see that turnover in California, Florida. And I remember last time, 2006, we started seeing that happen in those markets. And we're like, we're insulated. It's nothing to worry about in Charlotte. We've been on a 6 to 7% appreciation for years. It's not a problem. We can sustain that, which is pretty much true. And yet, the reason we were sustaining that is because people were coming from these other states and buying houses here that were keeping the prices going up. When they couldn't sell their houses in other states and come here, it started making our market actually go down in price. So that's part of the prediction that I hear the talking heads say, is we're going to see house prices come down. And I've even said this, that, you know, we have a problem with housing affordability. Housing affordability is the price, the interest rate. Those are the terms of the loan affect the prices still going up. So if the interest rate goes up, which it's been going up a little bit, if the house prices go up, and if incomes don't go up to offset those two things, then something's got to adjust. People can't afford as much of a house. Now, I'm going to suggest that this time is different than last time, for the simple fact, and this is something that is missed quite a bit. Oh, let me show you this too. Median days on market. So if we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market, if we have more than 7 months of inventory, we're in a buyer's market. If we have less than 5 months of inventory, we're in a seller's market. Prices tend to go up in a seller's market and down in a buyer's market. Do you see anything changing about this graph? I mean, right now we were at 40 days on market back at the peak of 2007. And we're at 19 days on market. That's a little bit less than 5 months of inventory. 19 days on market right now is the average in the Charlotte region. So that hasn't shifted yet. Pending sales. This is what they keep talking about. Pending sales. Oh, pending sales are going down across the country. You know what? It is starting to actually make a turn right there. But I'm going to say one of the reasons that is actually making a turn is because of this. And this is what people miss, the talking heads, all the time, is there's no inventory. You're not going to have pending sales be higher if there's no available inventory. And homes for sale are super low. I mean, we're getting back down to levels that we saw in 2007, 6, and 7. We're coming up pretty close to those inventory levels. Now, here's the difference. The difference back then is the builders were building plenty of inventory, and they had a lot of developments coming online, and those are 2, 3, 4 years out, those developments coming online. And if you look, I'm not going to show you the side of the graph. If you look right there, 2005, 6, they had inventory in the market, and then all of a sudden it exploded in 7, 8, 9 because the buyers were coming out of the market because the house prices were getting too high for them to sustain that, and it just exploded the number of houses available for sale, and supply and demand dictated that the prices went down because there was too much supply of new house inventory in the market. And I've gone through a video before and explained all that, and I'll link to the video and show that to you if you really care. But look at this. That is the supply we have now. We went to almost no supply in 2010, 11, 12, 13, started coming back with supply in 2014, which is about 2 years after the market recovered, but it still has not exploded. If I sell my house to you and you sell your house to your friend and your friend buys my house, we just all switched houses. That didn't allow somebody to come into the market, a first-time home buyer to come into the market, somebody from the other parts of the country to come into the market and buy something. The only way we get that is if we have new homes to sell. And right now, that inventory isn't there. So that's the big thing that a lot of these talking heads are missing. They think this is like last time. And I just don't see that inventory in the market like we saw last time. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. We're going to continue to see people that want to buy a house because, let's admit, they have to live somewhere. Not everybody's going to live in an apartment, right? Not everybody's going to spend the rest of their life living in all these apartments that are being built. People want to own their own scrap of land. They want to have a place for their kids to play in the backyard. They want to paint that kid's room pink with polka dots. So they want to own something. What is happening now is people, let's say they were able to afford a 2,400 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage house. Now interest rates have gone up, prices have gone up, incomes have stayed the same. They still want to own a house. Now they can only afford 2,200 square feet, 1-car garage. Does that mean they're not going to buy because interest rates went up 0.25%? My buyers that I've experienced don't shop by interest rate. They shop by what is my monthly mortgage payment and can I afford to pay that? They don't shop by, oh, the interest rates went up to 5%, so therefore I'm not going to buy a house anymore. That's not how they think. Now, if interest rates went up to 10% or 12%, they'd start thinking about that. But buying a home to live in is more of an emotional decision, more of a decision you make based on your needs than it is based on you're buying it because you're making an investment decision. You're not buying a house to live in because you're an investor. You're buying a house to live in because you need a place to live, and you'd rather be paying off your own mortgage than to pay off the landlord's mortgage. So I think this time is different in the sense that there's still no inventory in the market. If there was going to be a massive amount of inventory coming in the market, and we saw that month supply of inventory shift so that we had 7 months of inventory in the market, we'd start to see the prices really come down. I think what we're actually going to see is we're just going to force more people into the lower price points. We're going to force more people into a smaller home than they could have bought a year or 2 years ago. They're still going to buy, but they're just going to be forced into a smaller home. Now, that's going to be a problem because there's just not a lot of inventory in that. Basically, the housing affordability index says 244,000 is the number right now for the median income. There's not a lot of houses available under $225,000, and they go very quickly. So if you are a buyer in this market, you need to be with a real estate agent and with a team like we have that really understands this market and knows how to help you be more competitive in this market. So little plug for us, but I just want you to be aware when you hear these talking heads on, I don't listen to a lot of CNNs, NBCs, that sort of stuff. I kind of got out of listening to all that stuff a couple of years ago, but that's a totally different story. When you hear these stories about real estate, know that often when they say price, that it's going down, they're thinking the pricing is going down. They often talk about the number of closed sales are going down. And that is absolutely true because you can't have closed sales going up if there's no inventory. If the inventory levels are dropping, less houses are available for sale, you're going to have closed sales actually go down. Prices are still on the rise though. So I'll be back to tell you when the prices change, if they actually change. But for right now, you just need to be with an educated real estate agent that can help you. So if you're thinking about investing, it is actually a really good time to think about being an investor in real estate because I think we are going to see more people that can't afford the home they want to live in actually want to rent, but they'll want to rent a house to live in. So, you know, I hear on when I listen to some of my podcasts and such, the people that are doing cryptos and the gold silver guys, which I listen to those guys as well. But by the way, the gold silver ratio is way out of whack right now, and this is not investment advice. That's what I was going to tell you. These guys always say this is not an investment advice. I'm not a economist. I'm not a financial planner, so I don't even know what the word financial planner is. I definitely am not one, so don't listen to me. I'm giving general overview advice of the market. Don't take any advice that you hear on YouTube or Facebook as advice for you. That is guidance for you to go out and do some research for yourself. But the gold-silver ratio is out of whack. If you have any gold right now, you need to think about transferring that into silver, because it's 80-1 right now, and the long and the short is it's been 40-1 for a lot of years. It should be 16-1 by a lot of people's account, because that's the ratio that it comes out of the ground. I think it's probably more like 8-1 is the right ratio, because we use up a lot more silver than we use up gold in manufacturing of materials like cell phones and solar panels and batteries, and a lot of the stuff that we're building now in technology uses up silver, but it's a really good conductor, and that stuff just gets thrown away into the landfills because there's not enough being used in a solar panel that they'll take a solar panel apart and break it down and get the silver back out of it. Man, I'm off on a rant. I apologize. But if you want to talk crypto sometime, I can talk to you about crypto as well. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Just wanted to give you an update on my thoughts as I'm now here in Greensboro and had an hour or two to listen to some more of the talking heads. And now I wanted to give my opinion on a little bit. If there's anything we can do to help you, give us a call at 704-360-0667. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.